I wanted to do a quick video just to give you an update on how things have been going with my health. I think hearing about how people are recovering and making recovery stories is really important. Just this past week, I've been talking to some people that have made some progress in their health, and I've read some recovery stories on Instagram and watched some recovery stories on YouTube. And I think that gives a person a sense of hope. So it's good to be able to hear how a person's progressing and how they're making recovery, because a lot of times all we hear about is that this illness isn't, that you're able not to heal from this illness. And that's just not true. There is lots of recovery stories out there, and so I think it's important that a person shares their recovery stories with other people. So I wanted to give you a quick health update on me. I just jotted down some notes here, so that's why I'm looking over here. Like I've been doing better. I've been able to do some things. Like today I did the dishes. And to most people that may not seem like a big deal, but for me that's huge, since I went from being mostly bedbound in June to being where I'm at now. So I was able to do the dishes today. I went out to eat last night with my son for his birthday, and I even went to his game today. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow as far as how I feel tomorrow, but I've been able to walk, anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes a few times a week. I'm still doing my stretches. I'm able to spend maybe 3 hours a day in bed and still feel pretty good on that. Also, I just started doing some ozone IVs just recently with my naturopath, just to see if I can progress. I don't expect full recovery from those, but to add on top of everything I'm doing, I thought maybe that might help me progress a little bit. So I've done like about 4 of those ozone IVs so far, and the first few times I kind of felt worse, but this last few times I felt a little bit better doing them. So we'll see how that goes and if I can continue to do that. Also, I've been doing the sauna at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'm hoping that our insurance will be able to cover us getting an in-home sauna that I can do here at home, because it just would be more convenient not to be having to be driven to the gym to do the sauna there, and because my husband's so busy a lot of times, that it would be nice to have a sauna here that I could do on a daily basis if I wanted to. Also, I want to talk about The Power of Now. It's a book that I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to parts of it. And while I don't agree on a lot of the philosophies and things in there, I do agree about living in the now. A lot of times we tend to stress ourselves out by thinking about the future and not living in the now, or we live in the past. When we live in the now, there's less stress in our lives. Most of our problems that we have are based on what we think might happen in the future. And so you're probably wondering how that relates to this illness, but it does relate to this illness, because a lot of times I'll be thinking, well, I want to be cured by this certain date. I want to be able to do these things by this certain date. Like my 30th anniversary is coming up in June, and I would love to be able to go somewhere, on a trip or something with my husband in June. But I put pressure on myself and on my body by having a certain date that I need to heal by. And I don't think that's good for healing. I think by living in the now, then I'm able to focus on what I need to do now to heal, and not stress myself out about being healed by a certain time or a certain month or something to that effect. Or, and by living in the now, dealing with this illness too, I focus on what I can do now to heal and not worry about what might happen in the future. Not worrying if, oh, I'm not going to be healed by this certain date, or maybe I might not recover or something like that. So anyway, I think that's a good lesson for all of us, is to live in the now and not be so focused on, obviously you have to focus on some future things, like storing up finances or something like that. You have to think about some future stuff, but living in the now is where true peace comes from. Also, I want to talk about too the power of the mind. There was a Bible verse I read this week. It's from Proverbs 17:22, and it says, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones." And I was thinking of that verse this week because I think it was last week, I went to go get my ozone IV, and I was laying in the chair getting my IV, and there was a guy across the way, and he has a different chronic illness than I do. And I was having a bad day physically. Physically, I felt terrible. I was depressed because I felt terrible and wondering if I'm ever going to heal, and just really feeling down that day because I felt so bad that day. And he was across the way. He's been dealing with this other chronic illness, MS, and he was talking about how he had all these bad things happen to him all in the same year. But somebody had asked him why he remained so happy. And he said, what else am I going to do? And he just had this outlook about life that was so positive. And so even though he had this illness that kind of affected him in a lot of great ways, he had this positive outlook about life, hoping and in hope that certain things are going to help heal him or help make him better. And he really uplifted my spirit is what he did. He really just talking into him and seeing his spirit and seeing him be so happy about life. And it was really an encouragement to me, a big encouragement to me. And I walked away from that feeling so much better emotionally than I had when I got in there. It's like he really encouraged me. And I want to say that there's something about getting encouragement from other people. I am on a group. I'm on a Skype group, and I'm on this other group, the Messenger, with these two other ladies who are dealing with this illness too. And hearing about how they are making progress in their illness and how they're a lot farther than me, gives me hope. And like one lady, she's mostly recovered. She was able to walk like 1 to 2 hours in one day and then still go out that night. And, she still has to rest here and there, but to see how far she's come and to see how much she's recovered in that amount of time has been a huge blessing. And it hasn't been overnight, hasn't taken any crazy things. She didn't do anything crazy to heal her. She didn't go on any like prolonged juice fasts or any of these crazy other things, it's just rest, all this stuff that I'm doing, rest, I'm taking some multivitamins and some other supplements. I'm doing the sauna. I'm doing the ozone therapy, but a lot of these people didn't do any of these therapies, but going to bed early, eliminating stress, getting off your devices and stuff like that, and really severely limiting those devices, because those can really wear you out. But anyway, it was so encouraging, and it gives a person a sense of hope to be able to move forward. I know this video is kind of long, so I'll stop here in a minute, but I just also wanted to give a shout out to James from his YouTube channel, Health Recovery. I know for me, he has been a huge encouragement to me. You know, I've done some Skype chats with him a few times when I really needed it, and he's really given me encouragement and a positive direction to move forward in. And every time I feel like, you know, maybe this is so hard, then I look to him, and he's made a full recovery, and I just think, you know, I can do this too. So there's something about having hope that helps. And so I encourage you, if you're dealing with this illness, keep up the hope that you will recover from this. And I'm hoping that one day soon I can make a video showing that I have a full recovery. I'll keep you updated on how the IVs are going and other things going, and if I get that in-home sauna, I'll let you know on that. But anyway, just keep up the hope. Encourage those around you.